Yo, what is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining in. So, Jurassic Park, this is an iconic franchise that is just known around the globe. From the success of the first movie, Jurassic Park, directed by Steven Spielberg, 5 additional mega box office features were rolled out to audiences around the world. The first movie in the franchise is known to be cinema gold in terms of it being a classic that many people will revisit time and time again, with it being something that captivates audiences still today. Dinosaurs and Steven Spielberg, where can you go wrong, right? What if I told you this mega acclaimed franchise was actually the result of a book?
Well, duh.
Well, you probably already knew that Jurassic Park was based off a book, and you probably have already read it. I, however, have not read Jurassic Park until a few weeks ago. I can tell you though that I have watched the movie multiple times, and I love it. The movie is suspenseful, full of action, makes you think, and most importantly, paints a awe-inspiring and terrifying picture of dinosaurs. Will you ever be able to get that toilet scene out of your mind? You know the scene. With it being the new year, I decided that I wanted to read the book that inspired the movie that I love. I had no idea how much of the book actually inspired what we saw on the screen, so essentially I dove into this book knowing 3 things. 1, there would be dinosaurs. 2, there would be a park. And 3, things would not go as expected. Now, this is a book that has sold over 12 million copies, and somehow my eyes have not laid on a single copy. Well, I thought it was time to change that once and for all and finally read Jurassic Park. Did it live up to my expectations and my love for the movie? Well, if you're ready, welcome to my review of Jurassic Park. Michael Crichton has been an author that has eluded me for several years until I read a book that had a dinosaur skull on the cover, and no, it was not Jurassic Park. It was actually Dragon Teeth that came back out in 2017 after he unfortunately passed away in 2008. This was my first introduction into Michael Crichton, and I had a blast. There was not necessarily dinosaurs on the loose in this one, but paleontology still had a huge focus within this story. So if you're interested in a review on this book, let me know in the comments below, because I would love to revisit this one for sure. So Jurassic Park was published back in the 90s, and it's currently sitting close to 1 million ratings on Goodreads. Obviously, this book became very popular, and for a good reason. It captivates. Really, the premise is not that complicated when you're looking at it from a 1,000-foot view. You have dinosaurs brought back to life, and things do not go to plan in a very violent way. Jurassic Park is actually the first in this series, with one more book coming out afterwards called The Lost World. I actually bought the Jurassic World edition that includes Jurassic Park and Lost World all in one binding, which I think is pretty cool. Now, Michael Crichton has certainly wrote more than just Jurassic Park and Jurassic World, with him actually writing over 20 books. Now, with me reading 2 of his works so far and loving both, I certainly want to get back into the world of Crichton. Now, getting to the actual review of Jurassic Park, what you actually clicked on this video for, I initially came into this book thinking that it would start out similar to how the movie started out, very filled with a lot of chaos. In the movie, we were quickly shown how dangerous these animals are in terms of somebody being grabbed by a velociraptor almost within minutes of us starting this film. Then somebody screaming, "Shoot her! Shoot!" So yeah, this movie starts off on a very dramatic note, which is a lot different to how the book started. In the beginning of the Jurassic Park book, we learned that there are multiple biotechnology companies forming up in the hopes to capitalize on the breakthroughs in genetic engineering. Also, the introduction talked about the dramatic shift in the scientific community in terms of not openly sharing ideas anymore, but instead the commercialization of the scientific process in terms of keeping breakthroughs behind closed doors. A much different beginning to the story compared to the movie. I actually think it's really fascinating that the cloning of dinosaurs in Jurassic Park is just one of the biotechnology ventures found within this universe. From here, we do have a lot of similarities compared to the movie and the book. For one, the plot is essentially the same, with a lot of scenes being pulled out of the book perfectly to fit the movie. Dinosaurs cloned for the park. Disgruntled employee sabotages the park, accepting a bribe to steal embryos. Security goes offline. Huge storm rolls through the park. And finally, dinos get loose. Even the shaving cream can is exactly the same in terms of what its purpose was in the movie and in the book. Another part that was super similar was the majority of all of our characters. We had Alan Grant, we had Malcolm, Muldoon, the kids, Ellie, and most importantly, Hammond. I thought the movie did a fantastic job representing the characters found within the story, with of course some slight deviations. Hammond. So Hammond is a character in the movie that comes across as a very lovable grandpa who moves you into his park. Well, in the book, he comes off as an egotistical, overconfident, prick. This is a guy that is in complete denial from start to end within his story within the book. I also have to mention that the ending for Hammond in terms of the movie and in the book is a little bit different, but I am a bit partial to the book's ending because I think it's better suited to at least that character within the story. I also loved Malcolm's character within the book. I thought that he was way more heavily explored within the book's story compared to how I remembered him within the movie. Malcolm is a widely known mathematician who specializes in something called chaos theory. Chaos theory meaning the study of nonlinear equations in simple and complex systems that have unpredicted and random behavior. There are many scenes where Malcolm just talks about how Jurassic Park is a bad idea, where he goes on almost monologues talking about how the intentions of Jurassic Park came out of an ignorant fantasy. Literally, within minutes of meeting this character within the book, he basically says that
yeah, this park is doomed to fail.
Overall, the book had a great cast of distinct characters outside of just Malcolm and Hammond. I will say though that there wasn't actually a story of like character growth, where we have a particular character go on a personal growth journey. As I met each character while reading the book, my initial impression of them basically held throughout the rest of the story. For instance, when we met Alan Grant, we learned that he was a very successful paleontologist who is not good with computers, but he loves to teach and learn. Well, that remains pretty much consistent throughout the rest of the reads, so in terms of me being as a reader, I was able to easily differentiate each of the characters. One thing that I thought the movie did pretty well though is that Alan's character came off as a person who does not like to be around kids, which was hinted at multiple times early on within the movie. He develops a connection with the kids that come onto the island with him, so that kind of shows that he did go on some sort of personal growth story, because now he thinks, you know what, maybe kids aren't so bad. In the book, I did not get this initial hesitance towards kids, but maybe it's just something that I missed. The Jurassic Park book was also full of so many more technical details compared to the movie. There were literal pages of code found within the book, which I thought was pretty cool. From security, camera, storage, waste disposal, dinosaur versioning, and so much more in terms of how the park was supposed to function once it was open to the public. Last of all, this book successfully immersed me into a traumatic and terrifying potential reality where dinosaurs are trying to eat me. Slowly, Malcolm's chaos theory prediction of the park ultimately failing surrounds you from multiple angles. People screaming, dinosaurs roaring, metal screeching, keyboards typing, rain pounding. This book pulls your brain into a reality where dinosaurs rule the world. To sum my review up in a few words, I loved it. This book is packed with great characters, thought-provoking ideas, immersive cinematic scenes, a very engaging plot, and of course, terrifying and awe-inspiring dinosaurs. While slightly different, I love both the book and the movie for their own reasons. I rate Jurassic Park a 5 out of 5 stars, and I recommend it to anybody that can read. I am very confident that you will find something within this book that you will enjoy. Sci-fi, horror, dinosaurs, and so much more. Life finds a way. And that, my friends, is my review of Jurassic Park. And if you want me to do a review in the future of The Lost World or Dragon Teeth, let me know down below. And for sticking around this long, you've earned 1 XP token, and if you're already a subscriber, you get an extra XP token, so here you go. Have a good one, keep reading, peace.